Hi, Dorothy. How are you doing?
Good.
That's good. I'm Michela.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you. So before we get into today's session, I just wanted to discuss with you the consent forms, the informed consent forms that were signed. Do you have any questions about those?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, great. And just to go over some basic necessities, we do need to talk about a little bit confidentiality. So just so you know, the way confidentiality works with our interview here is that everything you say is confidential, stays within this office. I don't go and discuss with colleagues or anything. The only time that I would have to, break the confidentiality rule is if you disclose that you were going to harm yourself, harm others, or children were in harm of yours, and I had to maybe include Children's Aid Society. But that's just a standard. So how do you feel about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. I've had worked with some other people before in the past, so I would imagine it's similar.
It is very similar, yeah. But it's always important just to kind of get that out in the beginning, just so we know where we're at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I only read a little bit about your situation, and I don't want to go on base on what I've read. I know you sat with my intake worker and discussed a few things, so maybe you can just give me a little summary of what's been going on.
Well, the main reason that I'm here is because I need somewhere to live. I've been given an eviction notice, and I'm homeless, and I don't know what to do. I also just have a lot of other things kind of going on, and I'm really overwhelmed.
So I'm hearing that you're feeling overwhelmed, and that it's mainly due to your eviction. Are there any other things going on in your life that that you want to discuss with regards to family or?
Well, my family's really at a distance, so they're not really around very much. And my husband passed away about a year ago, Gunther. And so, it's just a matter of, I don't really have a lot of supports in place right now.
You don't? Okay.
No.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been very difficult for you.
It has been, yeah. We were married for about 40 years, and, it's quite challenging. So.
Wow. 40 years is a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how were you able to cope with that?
Well, again, it's, I knew he was sick for a while, and so I had some time to kind of process everything a little bit. And he was in hospital for a while, so I was meeting with a social worker there. But, it's still really, really difficult because, like I said, I've raised my children, and now they're off on their own lives, and then now I'm left by myself. And so, sometimes it can be quite lonely.
So I'm hearing that you're feeling alone and scared, and I guess the situation doesn't help now that you are being evicted and have nowhere to go, and really nobody there to support you.
Yeah.
So it seems that the main priority here is for me to help you find housing. Okay, so before we do that, I just need to do like a little assessment. Where is it that you would like to live? Would you like to continue living in the region of York?
Yes.
Okay. And is that, do you have a doctor in York that you see? Is there a doctor that you have in York?
Yep.
There is? Okay. Okay, so York. And if you don't mind me asking, what type of range are you looking for to pay for an apartment or?
Well, I don't really have a lot of resources, especially now with my husband passing away. Just really makes things really tight. So the cheaper, the most inexpensive I can get, the better.
Okay. So let me just write that down. Okay. And let's talk a little bit about your housing situation, just so I can get a better idea, because you said that your husband Gunther, before he passed, you guys lived together in the same place that you're living now. Okay. And so he was obviously receiving some income to help contribute. So how have you been able to manage thus far with the meager amount you have, the meager basic needs you have?
Well, sometimes, I have to ask my kids for some financial support recently, and that's one of the reasons why I need to leave where I am. It's because I can't afford it on my own. But there was a lot of memories for me there, and so I really didn't want to give that up, and I wasn't ready for that. So now I realize it is time to kind of really move on because I can't keep asking people for money to help support me. So I need to do things on my own.
Mm-hmm. So the house that you're living in currently has a lot of memories for you.
It does, yeah.
Okay. And so did you raise your children there?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. And I mean, just losing your husband over a year ago, and now losing this is going to be a big thing for you. It's going to be. So how is that going to make you feel?
Well, again, I'm just trying to be more optimistic that the change will be good for me, and kind of keep me more living in the moment than in the past. So. Yeah, I think that's kind of it is, that's what I'm trying to tell myself anyways. Like, I don't really know what to do. I just know I can't afford it. I would love to stay there, so I am really torn. I mean, one of the things why I can't afford it really is because I just got diagnosed with diabetes. So I'm on a bunch of medications for that, and that's really expensive, and I don't have proper coverage, and just things just keep coming up everywhere, and money, 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 money.
So what you're telling me is that it would look like moving out of your current residence. See, what that would look like for you is that you're losing a lot of sentiment, and you had a lot of emotion invested into the memories you had there. The only reason why you're unable to stay there is because obviously income's a huge factor, and a lot of your money's going towards your medication. I'm hearing. Have you ever heard of any have you ever been referred to or provided with any services that could assist in covering your medication?
Well, I've heard of Trillium, but I'm just not sure if I'm eligible for it. So, because I do own this house and it is an asset and I could sell it for monies, and so there's just kind of that's up in the air.
Okay. And, okay, well, that's, okay. And so there are a lot of things going on here. I think what we should do right now is maybe just because housing is one of your biggest issues. Let's focus a little bit on that. I know you had mentioned that that you have diabetes, you're diagnosed with diabetes, and also the loss of your husband. There are a lot of things going on, a lot of emotions that I think are really important. That I would like to definitely discuss in the future with you. But I think our main focus right now, our main responsibility is to help you find something. There is a subsidized housing program through the region of York where if you're living in an area that provides community housing, the government can offer like a rent subsidy program through the same building that you're living in now. So essentially, let's say about 40% or a certain amount of, like a certain percentage based on your income will be subsidized by the government. Now, in order for us to go through that, it's quite a tedious application, and I'm wondering how you would be with that. Like, would you be willing to go through that application with me and to look at these possibilities? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm open to anything really. Like I said, I just don't know with me actually having assets how that all plays into me trying to apply for programs for subsidies, but I do know my income is very limited. So, but yeah, I would be willing to apply to anything and everything because I do, realize that it's time to move. Yeah.
Okay. So so on one hand, you're saying that you're ready to try anything, but on the other hand, you just mentioned that you're ready to move. So are you feeling as if it's inevitable that you're going to end up moving? Like, have you kind of set up your feelings for that, and that's why you?
Well, I have no choice. I've been evicted. Okay. I couldn't pay all my rent, and I just didn't want to keep asking for money, and so I did the best that I could, and so the choice isn't up to me. So I don't. Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Well, you have a lot of courage to come here and talk about this today. So there's a lot going on, like I mentioned before. Now, what I want to do is I want to try to help you maintain the residence you're in now. I know you've been evicted, but that's something that we can look at. Like I said, the Region of York does have a program for people who own a home, and I'm sorry I didn't clarify that earlier. but to help them maintain the home they own,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they're on a very limited income.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can help you fill out that application and we can do that together, and you said that you're willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to kind of prepare you because it is, like I said, it's quite tedious to get through all the information, and you have to bring a lot of information to me, such as like your income tax assessment forms and certain things, and I can write them all down.
Mm-hmm.
And what we can do is we can meet in a week's time, and we can go over your information and fill out the application
Mm-hmm.
to see what is available for you and what your options are. Have you gone through, like, I know you've been evicted and you've received, did you receive the N-12?
Well, I guess it's more a foreclosure rather than being evicted. Maybe I'm using
Okay.
the wrong language, but it's more of a foreclosure that
Okay.
I've been given notice from the bank.
Okay.
So I have received papers just telling me that they're gonna seize my house, and
Okay.
if I can't pay for it.
That must be scary.
Yeah.
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 Telling somebody sending you a letter saying
Yeah.
you need to leave.
Mm-hmm.
How was your reaction when you received that letter?
I was devastated. Like I said, I raised my family there, and I knew again it was coming, just kind of like the death of Gunther, like my husband. Like I had time to prepare for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew it was coming, and now I kind of feel like it's time to let go.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know where to go. Like I just don't know where is a good place to live anymore. But like I said, I'm kind of prepared, made up my mind that I need to move forward. I need change. The change is going to be hopefully good for me, but
Mhm.
I am elderly. So I just don't know. I don't need that big house anymore.
Mhm.
I'm by myself. So I know that downsizing is okay. I know a lot of my, people do that. So I guess now is my time. I didn't get a choice in the matter, but here I am.
Wow. So you've really set your mind up to be ready for this in a way. So that takes a lot of courage. And as I mentioned before, you have a lot of courage. You mentioned that you prepared yourself for Gunther's death, and now you're preparing yourself for a possible eviction. But I want to help you kind of attempt to avoid this eviction. And like I said, there are some programs that we can look into. Obviously, I can't promise that it's going to happen, but let's at least really try to try to stop this from happening, because it'd be great if you could stay in your home that you're in now. So next, I just wanted to kind of discuss. You brought up your health and diabetes.
Yeah.
So how are you managing with that? Like, are you working with any agency or?
No, I'm not right now. So right now, just something new that my doctor kind of told me. It kind of came about because I was having some memory issues and things just
Okay.
weren't right. I was really thirsty all the time, and
Mhm.
I didn't really know what was going on. So I went to my doctor. So it's still fairly new, kind of with that. So right now, my doctor is helping me a bit with that, and yeah.
That's good. And how often are you seeing your doctor? For?
I can't really remember. I have it written down at home, so I can't remember.
Okay. Okay. So that, and your doctor had mentioned to you that I'm just clarifying this. Has your doctor mentioned to you that some of the memory issues do stem from the diabetes? Is that?
Yeah, we think so. Yeah,
Okay.
we definitely think that it kind of played a role in that, and really it was my kids kind of pointing some stuff out to me and letting me know that Mom, there's something not quite right. So, but yeah. So I do kind of know that they kind of go hand in hand a bit, but yeah, hopeful that he's telling me that things should improve.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what type of experiences have you had with regards to your memory issues? Like, to what extreme are you forgetting things?
Sometimes I forget my appointments. Sometimes I forget birthdays. Sometimes I'm kind of just, people found me kind of outside and have had to bring me back to my apartment because I couldn't quite remember how to get back, or like to my house because I couldn't remember how to get back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like, so I know, like, you know, like I said, family and people around, you know, in my neighborhood have kind of known that there was something going on, and yeah.
Wow, so you've left your apartment and not been able to, or your home, sorry, and not
Hmm.
been able to return. How'd that feel for you?
Well, I was just really confused, and I really didn't. It was kind of like I was in a blackout, like I don't really notice, like
Wow.
during the moment, and but I kind of came to a little bit when my neighbor Samantha, she brought me home, and I was kind of right at the doorstep, kind of going, "What's going on?" And she was able to tell me, so I was really embarrassed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That never had happened before, but I mean, there's not much. I mean, I'm doing everything I can about it, so. Yeah, but it was embarrassing for sure, you know, to admit that I didn't know where I was going, and I've lived there
Yeah,
for so long that, you know, I should know where my home is, right? So it was definitely embarrassing.
I can imagine. I mean, yeah. And Samantha, you mentioned Samantha. She's a neighbor of yours, or she's
Yeah.
from the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you known Samantha for? Is she a good friend?
She's not really a friend, but we just, you know, occasionally say hi to each other or whatever if we're out and about doing some gardening or that kind of stuff. But I don't know, about 20 some odd years or so, I would
Oh,
say.
okay.
So we've been neighbors for a really long time.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have somebody in the area who you're like who's familiar to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because you mentioned that your children live
Well, they
far
live far
away.
away, yeah. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
really have a lot of family anymore in this area, and but I do know that I enjoy Ontario, and I would like to stay in Ontario.
Okay.
And it's too late in the stage for this old gal to move very far.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just, yeah.
Okay.
So
So I'm hearing that you want to stay
yeah,
in the area you're in. Now, aside from the medical, you said your doctor's in the same region, so it's, I guess, easy. You remember where to go to get to your doctors. Like everything's kind of familiar to you, right?
on
People
good
you.
days, yeah, on good
Okay.
days I know how to get there, but you know I do have some bad days where I really do still struggle.
So how do you get to your doctor's appointments? Do you drive?
I do,
Okay.
yeah. I do drive, but I know my doctor had kind of threatened the last time I was there to potentially revoke my license
Oh wow.
because he was really concerned about me driving. But
Okay.
for right now, I'm driving, and yeah, I've passed. Like I don't have to do my driving test. I think till I'm 80. So yeah, so I'm driving.
Okay. Just for future reference, if you ever decide that you're not able to drive or you just don't want to, you feel uncomfortable driving somewhere where you may have not had driven before, there is a program through the Red Cross that offers some support to help people get to medical appointments or any other appointments that could be, related to their medical well-being and developmental uh, stages. So, for instance, like if somebody is going to like a support group or something, that they can actually help you get to those appointments. So maybe I'll write those down for you so you can take them later on, just as if you ever decide you need that. And so for would you like something like that? Like, would that be beneficial for you?
Like, what's the criteria? I'm not sure.
Okay, so, and thank you for asking. All you would really need to do is you just need to give them a call at least 2 weeks before your appointments. And do you know what the Red Cross is?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so yeah, they're a nonprofit agency who provides support for people, seniors and so forth. And so yeah, you would just have to give them a call at least 2 weeks before to let them know that you have an appointment, and then they provide you like a volunteer. There are volunteers who work for them, and they actually use their volunteers to help people drive their clients to wherever they have to go, whatever destination, at a reduced cost.
Okay.
Okay, so it'd probably be less than what you pay for gas to get to your appointments, which would be beneficial, and also doesn't put you through the stress if you're feeling uneasy about driving that morning, or you said that your doctor was looking at possibly revoking your license. So if that did happen in the future, you would have an agency to contact.
So
Okay.
they come to my house,
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
okay.
sorry, yeah, they come to your home.
Yeah.
So you give them, like I said, 2 weeks notice.
Mhm.
You tell them where you live and where you have to go.
Mhm.
They would come to your home, and then they would take you to your appointment and then bring you back home.
So they're like a chauffeur.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
It's an excellent program,
Okay.
and you can utilize them to the best of your advantage. And there's no limit; like you can call them anytime, provided you have the funds to support that.
Okay.
Okay. So I just want to. It looks like we're coming to the end of our session here, and I just want to kind of summarize a few things. So today we did discuss, your housing situation, which is our biggest priority right now to help you with, and we agreed that at our next session we can maybe go through the application for that program I had mentioned to you. It's actually called the Housing Initiatives Program. So I'll give you more information. So next appointment, what we'll have to do is if you can bring all that information, I'll give you a list here of what information we need in order to fill out that application.
Okay.
So that's what we discussed today and how we're going to do that. We also discussed maybe looking at, or maybe we can look at alternatives to housing, so that if that does not become an option, like if you do not meet the criteria for that program, we could look at other alternatives for you for housing. We also discussed your medical situation and your recent diagnosis, and I think that's something maybe we should touch up more on next time we meet, just because I don't feel like we were able to really get, we didn't provide, like I wasn't able to gather enough information to see if there's anything I can assist you on with that, or that you might need any assistance with. But we did provide you with the Red Cross program, so I'll write that down for you before you leave. Is there anything else you want to say before we end our session? Is there anything that maybe I missed, or?
I think we're off, you said housing
Mhm.
is the main reason why I'm here, and that's what we have to do, right? So I'm willing to do whatever it is that we need to do to kind of make sure I have a roof over my head.
It's absolutely. It's really important that we meet your basic needs, for sure. Okay, so thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank
It was
you.
lovely meeting you, and I look forward to the future session we have to discuss additional, possibilities.
Perfect.
So thank you so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.